Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description. So, a discussion of magic would be at a loss if we did not talk about archetypes. So, I've made a couple of different videos on archetypes on this channel. I wonder if I have a playlist for that. I'm not entirely sure. But I did want to talk from a different angle about archetypes. I might, in my unscripted ramblings, go on about a couple of different archetypes, but we're mainly talking about the idea of them in this particular video. So, archetypes come from Carl Jung, where if I did my research correctly, and I'm reaching back not only in a bunch of research that I recently did, but also back to my college days, which are getting further and further and further away from me as time goes on. Aging is fun. Anyways, so he noticed a bunch of similar things in a lot of different people's dreams and in their experiences. So he hypothesized the idea of archetypes, which are these motifs that exist in all of us that echo certain themes. So there's probably a bunch of them that you've heard of, where you have like the archetype of the shadow, which is your hidden side, which can both be good or bad. The bad stuff that you don't want to address, which comes out in negative behaviors and in like bad dreams and different things like that, and repetitive dreams, things like that, the things you don't want to face. And then even your golden shadow, what are your hidden qualities, the things that are really, really good that you might even be afraid to show. As an introvert, I'm actually really good at public speaking. That's one of my golden shadows. And then you can have the archetype of the sage, which is your knowledge, and there's a plethora of other ones. You can go ahead and Google them, but that's not the main part of this thing. So, of course, we're talking from the psychological perspective of magic, but this also lends into the energetic perspective because these are energies, little pockets of energy, or schemas, I guess you could also say, from a psychological model that we can pull from. When we step into a ritual space, what energy do we need? Do we need to have a nurturing energy when we are trying to work on a part of our psyche, or to repair something, whether it's physical or emotional or spiritual? Or are we going for something? You might need the archetype of the warrior, that kind of stuff. Well, psychologically, Jung says that these are there, but let's talk from a biological perspective to kind of wrap our minds around it a little bit. So, as a human, and this applies to all animals and stuff too, whatever, but as a human, I have eyes. My eyes are pre-programmed with knowing what to do, right? They intake light, and then it presses into the brain interprets it, and I can see stuff, right? Then you have your any number of organs, huh? You have your stomach. Your stomach comes pre-programmed, knowing what to do. Your stomach says, "I digest food." Your intestines, same thing. Your kidneys, same thing. Your gallbladder, same thing. Get what I'm saying? Right? All of our parts come pre-programmed saying, "This is what I do." You can even have genetic little mess ups where they don't know how to do stuff right, right? But let's talk about the brain. This little thing about yay big that is just basically fat and salt, and yet it makes this, right? It makes consciousness. What the hell? Consciousness is fascinating. Just throwing it out there. But so all of our other organs come pre-programmed with what to do and about certain things. Your brain is the most complex organ arguably that we know of, right? The brain named itself. Um so it, like other organs, should come pre-programmed knowing what to do about certain things. Yes, it knows how to like communicate with the rest of the organs because your brain keeps your heart beating and your heart keeps the stuff flowing to your brain, so it's a feedback loop of, hey, I'm awesome, I'm alive. And then your brain sends signals to different things like when, fight or flight response. Oh, look at that. Pre-programming. Some people's fight response is bigger. Some people's flight response is bigger. Some people's freeze response is bigger. You can come prepackaged with that, but then you have the nature versus nurture thing, where you might come with one set of programming and then nature changes it a little bit. So your concept of the shadow might be different than mine. Some people are afraid of the dark, i.e. the shadow. Some people are not. Some people are afraid of snakes. I hate snakes. Other people are not. Some people are afraid of heights. I am. Other people are not. Some people are afraid of the abominable snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the claymation movie, because he had repetitive nightmares about it when he was a kid. Some people are not, right? So, these archetypes that we have, they're pre-programmed in our brains, which means all of us have these things. And then we can use those as archetypes, motifs in our rituals. So, you have them. Research about them. Understand them. I'm actually building a big class on this kind of stuff, along the lines of path working and working towards self-realization and stuff. When I get the time and whatnot to go through, it's going to go up on Udemy. Along with all my other classes, check the link down below. But understand that you can go into a ritual and pull up these archetypes, like I've previously said. What kind of vibe do you need to bring into your ritual space? Do you need to be a warrior because you're going to tackle something? You bring in that energy, you do all that psychodrama, and you declare that this is what's going to happen in your universe, in your world, and then you're calling on these different spirits to help you, and they resonate with that same energy that you're giving off of, this is what I'm going to do, this is how it's going to be, and I'm going to tackle it, and you guys are going to help me, because I did some Aini, I'm going to get into that in a later video, and now we're working towards the same goal, right? We're partners, right? Or, you can have the whole nurturing thing where maybe you do a journey about healing something that happened in your past, like you're trying to overcome some trauma and other things like that. So you want more of a nurturing kind of thing. Then you can pull on like a caregiving archetype, stuff like that. You can pull on the shadow archetype to dig on where your golden shadow is. Hey, I want to get better at X, Y, or Z. I know I'm good at it somewhat, but I have some anxiety and stuff. I want to bring it out. So I'm pulling on my golden shadow and I'm calling that in. I'm declaring that it is going to make itself more present. You do a big psychodramatic ritual, calling on spirits, making a sigil, any of that other stuff. Boom, boom, boom. You're activating that archetype. So magic and Carl Jung go hand in hand. If you have not researched Carl Jung at all, you are doing yourself a disservice. Whether you believe in the energetic model or the spiritual model, I go into this in Mastering Ritual Magic, my book. Regardless of the model that you are going after with your magic, you're using your mind for everything. That means at a very basic, even at a very basic level, I would argue going more with that, that's my own bias, but you should study how the mind works, because then you can understand, this is why this kind of thing makes me feel this way. This is why out in the real world I get into these bumps in the road when it comes to these different things, because my brain is trained that way and I want to retrain it. These are what archetypes about. This is what I can call up when I'm dealing with this certain situation, because magic is not just what you do at your altar, it's how you live, right? Because we're creating every moment from now to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And this act of conscious creation arguably is magic, whether we are doing it big, psychodramatic, at a ritual space. My altar's over there, that's why I keep kind of gesturing over there. Or we do the low magic stuff, which is the last video that I made, where we run down here, we got an idea, boom, 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 sigil done. I know that my goal is going to manifest, and I did a ritual in 5 minutes. Or you could do one for 3 hours because you love that psychodrama. You're pulling on and using your brain as the main tool, whether you have wands or whatever, candles, incense, whatever. Your brain interprets all of it, goes in the subconscious, and then it goes after any of those other sources that you're talking about, whether you're going from a chaos magic perspective where you're blending all of them, or you're reaching towards a particular deity or spirit, or you're just working with the energies because you know about like the law of vibrations and all this other stuff, and you think everything is energy, so you're tapping into that to make that thing that you want to have happen. But it all starts in your mind. So now that you know that your brain comes pre-programmed with these archetypes and these motifs, research them and figure out which, when you're planning rituals, which archetype are you going to bring up in order to bolster that ritual itself. Because you can walk into a ritual and say, I want this. I need to be strong. Da 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 da. But what if you really wrapped your mind around what you needed to be, what archetype you could call on, and then you could feel it? I'm here because I want this. I'm calling on the archetype of blank, and I'm going to get it because I am the creator of my events, my happening, my universe, my reality, whatever you want to call it. It all starts in here. All right, rant over. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Drop any comments. Let me know if I sparked any little ideas in your minds. Definitely check out the links in my description and any of my other playlists, videos, classes, learning opportunities, books, and all that jazz. Maybe check out my novel. Anyways, I'll catch you guys next time. Good hunting.